Oh, hi. Hi. My name's Dave Clark, Windy City Road Warrior. And for the last couple of decades, I've been taking deep dives into the history of the Chicagoland area. Today, let's dig deeper into the foundations of Chicago architecture.
Chicago's stunning skyline and its iconic skyscrapers are world famous. Our collection of landmark buildings have been designed by a succession of talented architects, structural engineers, over the course of generations. But it does not take a famous architect or talented engineer to tell you that before you can build up to the highest heights, you have to dig deep. So today we are going to dig deep to explore the foundations of Chicago architecture. Core samples taken in different places in downtown revealed many layers of material between the surface and bedrock, which throughout most of the loop area is 80 feet below the lake and river level. This was way out of reach for the technology available to engineers in the years after the fire. The architects building the larger post-fire buildings used their experience, but they also had to proceed with trial and error and experiment. Trial and error can also lead to the inevitable error, and unfortunately, Van Osdol was an associate architect on one of the more high-profile mistakes with this building, the Chicago Post Office and Customs House, built in 1879. A Rand McNally Guide to Chicago, published some years after this building was built, said there always has been an uneven settlement, destructive in character, and at times dangerous to the occupants. To hold it together, heavy rods have been run through the upper walls. Too bad Mr. Van Osdol had not listened to his one-time draftsman and partner, Frederick Bauman. In a pamphlet written in the 1870s, Bauman illustrated the problem with mat foundations, how stresses would push a pier outward from due vertical, and would cause cracking and failures. The key to keeping the post-fire tall buildings on an even and steady footing was to take advantage of that stiff crust called hardpan and let the footings settle upon that. Another prominent and influential architect was William W. Boynton, whose influence increased when one of his designs, the Chicago Water Tower, survived the fire. But he ran into trouble by depending on that hardpan crust to be consistently supportive when his Board of Trade was built in 1885. Soon after this imposing structure opened for business, it was noted that the tower began to lean out over the sidewalk due to the uneven settlement. So Boynton went to the site and determined that the lean was not structurally significant and did not pose any risk. The frightened public was not convinced, so the owners of the building decided to surgically alter the building. In 1895, just 10 years after the building opened, the tower was removed. The building was no longer an imposing presence at the base of LaSalle Street. It did survive until 1929, when it was replaced by the current Board of Trade. In 1885, William LeBaron Jenney designed the first steel skeleton skyscraper, and in 1891 he took on William B. Mundy as a partner. And they were commissioned to build a new store for the fair at State and Adams Street. It was built in 4 sections from 1891 to 1896. When Montgomery Ward acquired the fair in 1963, this became the State Street location for the Ward department store. It was demolished in 1986. And the site remained a rubble-filled vacant lot for 12 years.
In 1998, Spanish architect Rodrigo Beaufil received a commission to build a brand new 35-story building on the fair site. As engineers inspected the location, they made an amazing discovery under the rubble. They discovered that the Jenney and Mundy foundation not only was still intact, but it was more than sufficient to support the load of the new building.
Rising from the caissons of another era, Beaufil's new building was unmistakably a product of the late 20th century, but it was literally and symbolically rising on the architectural foundation put in place by the old major, William LeBaron Jenney. Please visit WindyCityRoadWarrior.com and click on upcoming events and on presentations to learn more about my programs and where I will be appearing, virtually or in person. And for any questions, email me at dave@WindyCityRoadWarrior.com.
Stay well. Peace. See you down the road.